The priest wasn't just murdered, he was paralyzed, fully aware, and had his hand cut off while he was still alive. Yeah, welcome to one of the darkest cases in Baldur's Gate 3, and somehow, the person assigned to solve this, an amateur inspector named Pockets. And when Pockets arrived on the scene, things already feel off. The locals completely useless. Nobody knows anything. Nobody saw anything. Or at least, that's what they want you to think. But then we meet someone interesting. A golden elephant acting like a complete asshole. Inspector Valeria. World famous detective, by the way. But based on what we're seeing here, yeah, I'm not impressed. Because while Valeria is busy doing absolutely nothing, someone else is already being blamed. A refugee. Nice, clean, and convenient. Wrap the case up, call it a day. Blame the outsider. Classic move. But Pockets isn't buying it. Something about the murder feels intentional. So we start digging. We find Father Lorgan's belongings. But more importantly, his journal. And this is where things start getting uncomfortable. Because the priest wasn't just some random victim. He was helping the refugees, protecting people the city didn't want. And for that, he knew he was being judged, watched, punished. So now the question changes. This isn't just who killed him, it becomes who wanted him silenced. That trail leads us down into the temple cellar, and this is where everything breaks open. Hidden behind a bookcase, there's a cave, and the second we step inside, ambush. Enemies calling themselves brothers in blood. We take them out, but then something weird happens. Their bodies start changing. They aren't normal people. They're shapeshifters. And just like that, there's no longer a simple murder case at play. This is something organized. On their bodies, we find clues. A strange flowery key, a note, and yeah, a clown's severed torso. We'll come back to that. But the note, that's what matters because it describes a killer, not just any killer. An artist. Someone who paralyzes their victims, lets them sit there helpless, aware, before finishing the job. Letting the fear marinate. And that's when we learn the name Dolor. And just like that, everything clicks. The paralysis, the precision, the brutality, this wasn't random. This was methodical. We pushed deeper into the cave, and what did we find? Is worse than expected. Refugees massacred like livestock. Father Lorcan didn't die for nothing. He died because he was trying to help people, and someone wanted it to send a message. So now we go back to Valeria, because at this point the case should be blown wide open, right? Nope. Where did we find this world famous detective? At a bar, drunk, celebrating, while a serial killer is still out there. Yeah, we're definitely on our own. So Pocket keeps pushing. We track another lead, a mission librarian, named Fionn. Her journal tells everything we need to know. She wasn't paranoid. She was scared for a reason. She knew something was wrong. She knew someone in the city wasn't human. This leads us to the flop house. We search, we question people. Nobody knows anything. Again, convenient until we reach the attic. Hidden space, locked away. And when we finally get inside, it's too late. Fionn is dead, murdered, and just like the priest, hand missing. Now we know for sure this is a pattern. We search the room, and that's where we find it. The list. Targets. High-profile names. People across the city marked for death. And the instructions, even worse. Kill them. Frame the murders. Cut off their hands as proof. This isn't just a killer. This is a network. Something bigger, something organized. So now the mission changes again. It's not about solving a murder anymore. It's about stopping the next one. We bring back the list to Valeria. And finally, we get something useful, a pass into the upper city, because now we know Dolor's next move. He's not after random people, he's targeting important figures, big names, public events, which leads us to a wine festival? Yeah. Perfect place for a mass killing, and right on cue, Dolor shows up. Not hiding, not sneaking, performing. Because that's what he is, an artist. He reveals himself, not because he has to, but because he wants to. His perfect kill was interrupted, and he wants credit for his work. That's the ego. That's the pattern. But this time, he pushed too far. We track him down to one last time to his final target, Figaro, the face maker. And sure enough, Dolor is already there, monologuing. Of course he is. Talking about destiny, about art, about death. It's like it's some type of masterpiece. And listen, I'll give him this. His method, twisted, but effective. But monologuing, when I'm standing right there, yeah, that's a mistake. Fight breaks out, and this time, no tricks, no paralysis, no setup was gonna save him. Just a straight up fight. And just like that, it's over. Dolor's dead, the killings stop, and the artist finally runs out of canvas. But here's the thing. If it was just him, we might have lost. Because everything about this case, the setup, the framing, the targets, this wasn't just one man. It was a system. And if Pakistan stepped in, the whole thing gets blamed on refugees, covered up, and forgotten. And that might be the darkest part of the entire story.